recovering addict named Will. I got some things that I want to talk about. It might be something that can help you out while you're on your journey of recovery, staying sober, clean and sober. Um, I noticed early in recovery with me, when I actually was introduced to being clean, you know what I mean? Sober. I used to always wonder why I would always have these cravings or thoughts to want to go back and use. This was early in the beginning because I kept relapsing back then. That was a very long time ago. Well, anyway, now I've been clean since March 7, 2007. I have 16 years. I haven't had a drink or drug or anything for 16 years. I've been doing it up. The thing I want to talk about with whoever's watching this video, for the person that's a chronic relapser that goes back out and use, I'm gonna give you some pointers on here on what you need to do in order so you can stay on track of staying sober. One thing you need to do, I said in my last video, is to stop entertaining the thought of using. Stop entertaining the good times of using. But the key thing to this is to never, ever forget what happened what caused you to actually make that decision to get clean and sober. The very last time you put in a substance in your body, when you was like, I want to stop, I need to go get some help, I'm going to a meeting, or I'm going to go to a facility to check in, or you might have caught a prison sentence. You know, I mean, whatever caused you to actually remember the pain of using, utilize that utilize that so you can always stay on track. Never forget that. And stop entertaining or glorifying drug use or drinking. Don't glorify that. If you are one of those people that came to a grip somewhere in the past, you came to a grip, you said, I want to stop. I got to stop doing this. See, this is why God, of your understanding, see, I got a God of my understanding. That's why God of my understanding, me, gave me feelings and emotions. Pain is something that we need to remember not to go do that again. That's just like if the stove was hot and you touched it and it's hot, are you going to keep going back to the stove to touch that hot stove that burnt you? Now you got a blister on your hand. You're going to keep doing that? This is why it's very important to always reflect on what it was like the very last time when you said, I gotta stop. I gotta stop. Like I said, some people had a prison sentence happen to them. They had to go to prison. They went to prison. And then once they got in prison, something kicked in because they couldn't get to the drugs or drinking or whatever they were trying to do. And they, some people are like that, because I had caught me a prison sentence, and I'm telling you, I had got to a point I had kept catching prison sentences, and it was a messed up life. And then when I would go out and use, I would be out in the streets. You know what I mean? And them streets ain't fun. The streets ain't nice. Don't nobody care about you in them streets. And that's what I kept in my mind. until this day I'm clean and sober. Because I didn't glorify it. I didn't entertain it. You dealing with this, your brain. So your brain is something that you have to control as a person. You have to control your thoughts. You have to. You have to. And you have to always reflect on the pain, the really bad part about using. You know what I mean? You might, I don't know, maybe you went to the doctor and the doctor told you, yo, you keep doing this, you're gonna end up dying. You can use that. Because that can be some shocking news to somebody. Damn, if I take one more drink, I'm gonna die. That's some shocking news. And it can be like that for some people, you know? Some people. It might not be like for you, the person that's watching this, but for the person that really need to know not to do it again, and you like, man, I keep using, I want to use. When you feel like that, you play that tape all the way to where you actually had a conscious decision to want to stop, and you wanted to change your life. Because I done seen people, when I was out there in active addiction, I done seen people on a curve crying. And I knew, well, actually, I seen a person do that. And when I seen that person do that, about a week later, I didn't see him no more. And then, me going back and forth to meetings, I finally seen him. I ran into him. And I think that was I didn't really sit down and get a chance to talk with them, but I think that was their bottom. And they remembered, and they still clean to this day. Sure is. They doing it. They got more clean time than me, because they got clean before me, you know, got sober. And it's like when people have more clean time than you, they just got tired before you did. That's all. You got to look at it from that. This is not a winning race. It's nothing that, okay, this is not something it's not competition. Let's put it like that. This is not, okay, I'm going to win this game. You know, like you in competition with somebody else. It's not. It's about your life. It's about what you have to do as a person. Just to keep your focus on staying clean and sober. You have to do it. That's part of one of the the tips that I'm giving you. Remember that. Don't never forget that pain. Don't never forget that last time when you said, I got to stop. And if you are one of those people that got locked up, don't never forget them bracelets. Because you go to prison, you go to jail, guess what? You up under somebody else's control now. Ain't no fun being locked up because you wanna go get high. And a lot of y'all, it's like me. Only time you get in trouble is when you start using. You start doing drugs. That's when you get in trouble. Or drinking. Take the drinking and drugs away from you, you're the perfect person. You're probably a good person with a good soul. But you gotta stop. You gotta play that tape through and build a support group. And y'all bounce ideas off each other. You know what I mean? On how to stay clean, how to stay sober. Y'all bounce ideas. I mean, it's not gonna hurt. Somebody might have an idea and you might not like that idea. Okay, put it on the shelf. Maybe it'll fit later. It might not be for you right now. You know? That's how I look at it. That's exactly how I look at it. So, you watching this, I understand you don't have to hit the like button. You don't have to do that. If you want to remain anonymous or whatever, I understand, because everybody don't have to, everybody that does this don't have to be all out in the open with it. you know. But I just wanted to get that message to you, you know, for the person that keep relapsing. You know, always remember the pain. Remember that very last episode you had. Don't go all the way to the other episodes when you were actually doing something, like you were actually having fun. Don't do that. Don't play with yourself. Because that's almost like you tricking yourself back into going into how you used to live. You don't want to do that. Remember that. And if you were a type of person that was out there in the streets homeless, and you walking around and you laying out there and sleeping in a tent, or maybe sleeping in abandoned buildings, use that for your memory. Use that. Use the bad shit. Even if your addiction got you, or addiction or alcoholism got you put in the hospital, remember that. Remember the embarrassing moments that you embarrass yourself and you embarrass your family. Because some people, family members, they don't tolerate that. I mean, if you start, like, if you get clean and you go relapse, they will cut your butt off. They will cut you off. Some family members will do that. And they do it for a reason. And the reason being is because it hurts them to see you like that. They don't want to see you like that. They want you to do better. They don't want you in the streets. They don't want you out there doing God knows what to try to get the next one. This thing right here, staying clean and recovery, being sober, it stretches a long ways. It's important. It's very important for you to, like, always reflect on the things that got you in that position. Because, like me, I'm telling you right now, I will never forget that last time I put that substance in my body. I put the drugs in my body, the alcohol. I'll never forget it. And I'll never forget the extent that it took me. You know what kind of memory I got when I use my last using. My last using, that always do that to me. My last using took me to jail. And I remember when I had them handcuffs on me. Broad daylight. Bunch of people outside looking at me. I'm beat dirty. I remember that. That was more like a rescue operation. For real. It's almost like I was rescued. Because from that day forward, I got clean and I stayed clean. I got locked up. In the process of me being locked up, I had some type of spiritual awakening when I was in there. And when I got out, it was like God helped me connect the dots when I got out. Because when I got out, I was on the verge of going back to doing what I normally do. But somebody intervened. That was my grandfather. My grandfather intervened in that process of me thinking I'm going to get one. He stopped that dead in the tracks. That day he held on to me all day, almost 24 hours. I stayed with him. It wasn't really no 24, but it was close to it. Because I know when he picked me up, it was in the morning, and when he got rid of me, it was wee hours of the morning. But it was still dark outside. That's when he had dropped me off over my other people's house. It was like a handoff. You know what I mean? It was almost like, okay, you got him now? Okay, bring him over here. Don't let him go. Make sure he come in. And that's what my grandfather did. When I got to my next place, he walked in the door with me. But this was family members doing this for me. You know, until this day, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for him. You know, I'm grateful. I'm grateful. That was a beautiful thing. But those are the type of memories you want to have. You don't want to glorify using. You don't want to glorify that. I don't even want to. I mean, you know what I mean by glorifying. I'm not going to even give you no examples because I'm not trying to give you no ideas. You know, ideas, well, I ain't never tried that one. Let me go do, no. It stops. It stops. That's it. You gotta come to grips with yourself. Because meetings, church, going to the mosque, whatever you do, that's gonna help you. But you gotta find a formula that's gonna work for you. Because everybody got a different way of doing this. I haven't seen not one person that could do it the exact same way as another person and get it. They always have something mixed in with it. Like I know an individual right now. They go to meetings. They've been going to meetings for years. They still go to meetings, but they go to church too. And it works for them. You know, I know people that don't go to meetings. They just go to church, and it works for them. I know people who go to the mosque, and it works for them. They don't go to meetings or church, but you got to find what's going to work for you. And I ain't saying the outside entity is something that you need, but it's not going to hurt. You know? Now you want to know what I do? Me, myself, I just stay focused on what I do. I'm deeply rooted into not using drugs and alcohol. I'm so deep down rooted into the ground. It ain't funny. Let me wipe this lens a little bit. Look like it's a little cloudy. Okay. I can't get that speck off. Well, anyway, it ain't funny. That's how deep you gotta be rooted. Your roots gotta go all the way to the center of the planet. And to change. And to not want to go back out and use drugs and alcohol. That's how deep you gotta be. But me, right now, I'm just giving back the best way I can. And I do it through these videos. I mean, some people watch them, some people don't. I don't have a lot of views. I get like maybe 5 or 10, 15 people, maybe views that watch my videos, and that's it. You know? But I'm cool with it. But you, as a person, don't never forget the pain. Always remember the very last time you said, I need to stop.